Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Got a late one tonight. Hold on, let me get all set up. I had a conversation earlier that made me think of what I need to do better. What I need to do better to get everybody that's interested in the business to get everybody more or less on the same page. All right. For those of you that don't know, my name is Mike Reed, and I've been in the appliance business since I was 15 years old. It's been a family business. My father and I started this back in '92, um, and I kind of back in the day we used to do both. We used to do residential and commercial. It wasn't really that big of a deal because we didn't know it. We didn't know it was that much of a big of a deal back in the day. And with all that being said, I still I still go through training and constant cycle of learning. All right. I have here, I received in the mail a little something from Jackson Warewash, because a few weeks ago I attended an in-person training class. So now I got my Jackson level 2 training. Now, what this means for me is that the Jackson units that I put in, I should have uploaded a video. The Jackson units that I put in, those now can qualify for, I think, an additional year, which my installs weren't getting before. So it raised a lot of fuss and actually got this training scheduled. And so because they wanted to do it for me, they ended up doing a full 2-day training session. Um, I go through this to say, all of this just to say, learning is important. Training is important. Um, Without the training, without learning the basics on the equipment, it's going to lead to a hard time. I'm not going to say it leads to failure. I actually saw a video today from Josh Zolin's father explaining on how he really didn't have that much training and how he survived off of credit cards until he learned the ins and outs on the repairs. Like, he knew a little bit, but he didn't really know the ins and outs. And so he was talking about how he was, using credit cards and things like that to get by until he started really making it. And it's a good thing he did because they have a very profitable business to this day. So if you guys go on Josh Zolin's webpage, on his YouTube site, you'll see some of the videos I'm talking about. He was I want to say Josh was a chairman or something of Success at one point in time. But I'm getting information that that you guys don't really understand what the process is like as far as getting your foot in the door. I know you guys are here because you want to be a part of the commercial side of things, um, which is understandable. I'm not going to let anything get in your way. I'm gonna give you information that you're gonna need to get there. With that being said, I never did give you guys the whole process of how this works from beginning to end, how it goes from raw sheet metal to ending up in a restaurant location. And I see now that that's something lacking on my part, and I'm going to try to Try to give you a little something about that today. All right. Hey guys, what's going on there? Let me. Today I went to a store called URI. Well, I get to start this up. So URI, I had to go and get a filter. I did a video earlier um, where I was at a location and it needed a filter. The ice machine itself would not work without the water filter. The ice machine would not work. So here's URI. URI is across the country. It's in most of your locations, most of your cities and states. Um, oh, Thompson, no problem. Now, what I need to tell you guys is that there is a process, and I downloaded this PDF, and it just did not show up. Oh, shoot, I didn't want to remove that. I want to show some good old veto bags. So, all right, so the factories will make these products, right? They're basically making the structure of it. They're just like Apple, right? Apple doesn't make any of the chips or the Gorilla Glass or any of that other stuff. So these factories are getting from Harper Wyman, they're getting components, um, and then they'll go ahead and put this stuff together. They'll put this stuff together, and then they'll look for a distributor. They'll get the distributor. Yes. Wait a minute. What is this? Sunday. Sunday. So the manufacturer has it to where the filter companies or the filter completes the circuit in order for the ice production. All right. Here's the deal. No, the manufacturer does not have it where the filter completes the circuit. This is the deal. The filter is there to protect the ice machine. Let me show you. This is what happens when the filter goes bad. The filter is supposed to strain out all of these impurities in the water. And you can go up or down, or you can even go without filters. The machine will work without the filter. Do I want the machine to work without the filter? No. And you're taking this Manitowoc off, you're supposed to cross your arms like this and use your thumbs and pull it down. But I'm trying to hold with the camera and do it. So it didn't quite go that way. I'm going to play that again so y'all can see. There are, and I had to take the audio off because they had the music blasting. There are bypass plugs that you can insert into the filter head, and then you don't need the filter. But the filters aren't, well, the exception of Manitowoc now. Manitowoc is owned by a filter company. Um, you could use the machine without the filter, right? You could just, a lot of times these machines are sold without it, but they need a filter to strain it. Just like in your car, you have a fuel filter if it's a gas car. Um, just like at your home, you'll have some water filters, especially in your refrigerator. But these, you don't have to have it. You don't have to have it. But if you don't have it, you're going to end up with a ton of problems, right? So, like I said, back to the manufacturers. So the manufacturers will manufacture the different components that manufacture the body. Now they are responsible. Oh, sure. Um, yeah, you definitely want a filter in your ice machine. So the manufacturers are responsible for the whole, for the entirety of what they've created using these different components, right? Like when it comes to Manitowoc in this video, Manitowoc they've made that chill plate, but they don't make the circulation pump. They don't make the condenser fan motor. They don't make the compressor. They don't do any of that. They don't do any of that. Those, they basically buy those out of a catalog for their means, and they put this stuff together. Now, I'm going through all this to say, once they do this, once they've created this item in all its entirety, now It then goes off to a distributor. So the manufacturers are now going to provide their items to a distributor. The distributor's job is to, one, store the item. So the distributor is going to collect them. Um, all right, Thompson Appliance. Brother, where have you been? Where have you been? I've been here giving you this information, right? So follow with me, and I'll touch back on that to get the books. Um, you're gonna get the books from the distributor. The distributor is the one responsible for educating the service provider. The manufacturers are going to make these items. Let's say this ice machine that you're looking at. So they're going to make this item, and then the distributor. So let's say they make 10 of them, and the distributor is going to get one for their area. Now, the distributor is responsible for going out and finding people that are going to sell the item. So that's going to include dealers, and that's going to include construction. All right. So people that make hospitals, people that, just all in all, just construction people, as far as contractors and architects. So now down the chain. So you got the distributor that actually holds the items. Once the factory makes it, they ship it out. And then the distributors are going to be located throughout the country. So you'll have them in Florida, Texas, where I'm at. You're going to have them in New York. You're going to have them in Chicago. You're going to have them in Montana. You're going to have it in Southern California. You're going to have these distributors dispersed all throughout the country. And they are the ones that are holding the product. They're the ones and they're not just holding that one. They're going to curate a nice little suite of products. So they'll have ice machines, they'll have fryers, they'll have ovens, they'll have refrigerators, they'll have dishwashers. So they're going to try to provide everything that their potential clients are going to need. And they're going to focus on a few brands. They will have the option to sell everything out there, but they're going to focus on a few brands. Now, they're storing the item. They're being compensated by the factory for that, but they're storing the item. They're finding the customers. And then they're also responsible with finding you. So the distributor has the parts. The distributor has the appliances, and they have the parts. And all part of that is whenever you have a problem, the dealer, let's say the dealer, they're buying it from the distributor. Dealer sells their item to, let's say, a grammar school. So they're selling this ice machine that you see in this picture. They're selling this to a grammar school. Now, the grammar school has a problem within the first year. They're going to reach back to the dealer, and then the dealer is going to reach back to the distributor where they bought it from. Say, hey, this item that we got back from you in October, but this item that we got from you back in January last year, my customer's telling me it's died. You have to do something. Get me another one or get this thing fixed. And so then in turn, they go ahead and contact somebody like you, and they make the arrangements for you to go out there. You go out there, you do the repair. The distributor, you find out what the problem is. The distributor gives you the part out of their stock. Give you the part, you do the work, you return to them the old one. And then that distributor is going to then pay you. They'll pay you, and if they charge you for the part, they're going to reimburse you for the part. Right? So the really good distributors, they don't charge you for the part. So that is part of the distributor's job. That is their job. That is their place in the chain. Now the factory is responsible for sending out the trainers. The distributors, since they know the area, they are responsible with sourcing the location, whether it's going to be a hotel. Like one year we did a bar. We were in a bar. It was a large bar, but we were in a bar. Most times it's like a hotel. Other times, it's like if you've seen with Jackson, I was actually in another service company's facility, and they had their facility all set up with water, drainage, different phases of electricity, and it's like that when I go to Dallas. When I go to Dallas, I did Hagar, and Hagar has a great facility, and they allow me to go and attend training at their place. So the factory will come with the assistance of the distributor, and then they will train you to go out and do this stuff. Now, you have the factory, you have the distributor, you have the dealer, and then you have the end user. What you need to know is you deal with all four of those entities. You deal with the end user, the customer. You deal with the store, the dealer. You deal with the distributor, and you deal with the factory. You deal with all four. Um, at any point in time, you can have some kind of encounter with all four. I myself, I'm in a position where I deal with all four. So say this that ice machine is the school. I will deal directly with the school. I will relay the information to the dealer. I will also get the part from the distributor, and I file my report with the factory. So on one call, I'm dealing with four entities. Four people are in my business at all times. Right. So I say that I failed you guys because there seems to be a miscommunication on my part on how this whole thing comes together, how it all works together. There's no cheat code in this. There's no cheat code in this business. Um, you really do need to learn it. The more efficient you are, the more profitable you will be. Yes, you can go in there and you could stumble through, you could try to learn, but you don't have to do it that way. You do not have to do it that way. I am begging you not to do it that way. I am doing the best I can to get you the information to attend these training classes. If you have a problem attending a training class, please make a comment on any one of the videos. I will respond. All right. I will respond. You really need to let me know where you are, what kind of problem you're encountering. And then I will do my best to get in there and smooth the waters and make sure that you can attend a training class that you qualify for. Now, with that being said, ICE is the one that I tell you that you can go ahead and attend the class. ICE is where you can get in and attend the class. ICE is, I feel that your ticket into any place you really want to go. Um, the other appliances have certain checks and balances before you can attend an actual class. So when it comes to like fryers, griddles, ovens, before you get to attend a class, they're going to want to know that you have passed the online portion of their training. You will be allowed to go to their classes once you've gained proficiency. So these classes are not entry level learning. Just like this one says level 2. I did not tell you guys about this training because you guys didn't tell you guys about this because this is a level 2. It's a level 2. Most of the factory trained people in my area already were notified. It was supposed to be full classes anyway, right? So when it comes to getting this training, getting the books, no one's doing books anymore. All right, no one's doing books. They're all doing PDF. They're all doing YouTube videos. So if there is there a website to get the books on these machines? Yes, right? There are books, Manitowoc. If you go to Manitowoc, you can download the books. The books are over 300 pages each. Um, the best thing to do is to follow their guidelines, follow their online courses. All right. So the old way was the books, but you're not going to run around with these 200-page books, even though they're going to be yay big, yay tall. Um, those books are not going to help you if you don't know the sequence of operation. That's basically what the classes are, the sequence of operation. And that's what you go. That's what you go and learn about, right? You can try and teach yourself all day from the books. It will take you an infinite longer amount of time to learn using the books than it will for you just to watch these videos. Videos are going to take you step by step what you have to do. They got it all paced out. They spend millions of dollars to get these videos to you for a reason. And they've learned over the years that there's too much disruption with the classes because you have guys that are veterans in the business sitting in class with someone who just got hired that week and has never dealt with an appliance as far as repairing. So the two don't get along very well. And it's usually a bad situation for everybody involved. The new student doesn't learn, and the old student is frustrated that they got to be there. So you can get any number of books. They're free to download. On the commercial side, with the exception of Taylor, you can get all of these books and manuals. Everyone's books and manuals are free. Please comment if you have found that that is not so. Right? So if you go on FryMaster, all their books are, not only are their books free, their books go back to I would say the 70s. You can get their books going all the way back. They have full archives of all their books and training books from all the way back to the 70s and probably earlier than that. But the earliest I found is the 70s. And that's for Scotsman, that's for Manitowoc, that's for Hoshizaki. They all have their old training books, and you don't need books that old. The books that are even 5 years old won't even help you when you go out in the field now. You need the latest and greatest. So what I wanted to go over, a little bit of rant. I just wanted to go over that. Then you need to go and take these classes. Well, all right. I was just asked, what's going on, Miami Appliance? I was just asked that, that's amazing. This side of the business will never close. Even if you try to go and if you want information from, it's a German manufacturer that makes steam ovens, that makes combi ovens. It is Rationale. So you can go on Rationale site right now and get all of their stuff. Right, Miami. Okay, so Follett is just one, though. Follett is one. The important thing is to find out who has the products that you're going to be working on, right? So you go Follett, but Manitowoc is number one. Hoshizaki is number two. Now, I understand those are fighting words, but it is what it is. Manitowoc is number one. Hoshizaki is number two. The water gets muddy when you ask Scotsman, because Scotsman says they're number one worldwide. If you go off of numbers sold worldwide, right? Manitowoc has an obscene number of videos. Hoshizaki has a number of videos. Manitowoc used to have live training sessions every month. Oh, it gets serious. So on the commercial side, it gets serious because you're talking about a whole hell of a lot of money. On the residential side, okay, they have one refrigerator. Maybe they got a couple of wine units in the house. On the commercial side, these people, they can have 4 or 5 ice machines in a location. Then you're talking about change. You're talking about worldwide, right? There are chains that are worldwide. You're talking about a lot of money. You're talking about a lot of money getting your product with a Kentucky Fried Chicken. Kentucky Fried Chicken is worldwide. That is Yum Brands. Let me show you guys something. I gotta go to my training book. That is Yum Brands. Now, Yum Brands. Oh man, my brain is fried. I had a hell of a day today. I had a hell of a day today. But I had to get this information out to you guys to know the differences and the responsibilities of all of these different players in the business. Man, I can't even find my stuff. All right, but Yum Brands, you get a servicer code with Yum Brands. Let me go ahead and show you guys, so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, fighting words are something serious. They are something serious. All right. Oh, sure, no problem. No problem. This is what I had set out to do, was to show you all something that nobody else was willing to do. Um, Let me see here. I am not seeing you guys. All right, let me make this big. Let me make this big. Let me make me small. All right, I'm going to disappear for a little bit. I'm going to show you my screen. I'm going to run through this real quick, and then I'm going to go back to Yum Brands. All right, so I went to Hoshizaki. You go to Hoshizaki America. This is just to give you an example. So Hoshizaki is the manufacturer, right? Let's just say a supplier for Hoshizaki would be Dan Foss, or we'll stick with Dan Foss. Dan Foss is a supplier for Hoshizaki. So you see here where it has locate distributor, locate service rep, locate a company, resources, right? So we're going to locate distributor. So Hoshizaki takes compressors from Dan Foss. They go ahead and they put it in their units. So we're going to go and do right? And this is going to be a bad example because Oshizaki owns the distributor for Florida, right? That's the old zip code where I used to live in South Florida. And so your distributor is Hoshizaki Southeastern Distribution Center. That's what the DC stands for. All right, that's the contact, it's the phone number, blah, blah, blah. Let me go with another one. I'm just making up zip codes. That's too many. It's too many numbers. Sorry about that. All right. Damn, I hit it again. I also used to live in Pennsylvania. All right, so here is Nordon. Nordon is your distributor if you're in this part of Pennsylvania, right? I actually do work for Nordon. This is crazy. I myself did not know that Nordon was a distributor for Hoshizaki. So now I'm going to go into Nordon, and of course it opens up another screen. I'm going to copy and paste this into the where we're looking at. So bear with me. So this is the Nordon site, and there's Hoshizaki. This is Hoshizaki. Here's Embera, right? I take care of all of these. Nordon is the distributor. Nordon is the distributor. So, okay. All right. Okay, you're only gonna be on for about an hour. The cleaning you did for the Manitowoc on your channel. I just did one today. Takes about an hour. It all depends on how dirty, well, how much mold, or how much stuff is in the Manitowoc. But here with this Nordon. So Nordon is the distributor. Nordon will call me and ask me to go ahead and do repairs for different restaurant chains, I've done hospitals and things like that, because they'll have, there's my Fagor, there's Onera. So there's Fagor, you got Beverage Air, you got Embera. So Coke and Pepsi use Embera. You got Hoshizaki, and you got Hussman, right? So Hussman, you'll find that in your Target. So someone had mentioned, oh man, Target. Yeah, you're gonna deal with a lot of Hussman. All right, Hussman is in Target, Hussman is in Kroger, Hussman is in your Circle K is Kroger. Hussman is in all these large chains. The other appliance chains, they have their own line that competes with Hussman, but Hussman is pretty much king as far as I'm concerned when it comes to that. There's my Lever. You got Kelvinator. People will argue with you up and down and say Kelvinator does not do commercial, and that is false. Kelvinator does commercial. This Vindo, this is the vending brand. Nelson, old school. Here's my Asper again. There's Silver King. Silver King is in Burger King. All right. So Nordon, Infrico, I love my Infrico. They're out of Miami as well. You guys can talk to JP. I can give you JP's number down there in Miami, right? So JP is the guy to talk to at Infrico, and he'll get you set up on the list. You guys already have the number for Fagor / Asper, which is Julio down at the schoolyard. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. So, yeah, I'm Thompson Appliance. I know I talked to her later on that day, but now she knows that you guys will respond. So I gave that information to you and one other person, and both of you guys called her. But please use that information to get set up with her. There will be other jobs. There will be other jobs. She just moved on and finally they liked me for some reason, and they wanted me to go all the way from Houston to Dallas to do that, and that is just insanity. There's no way I'm going to do that. So she had to contact someone else. That's what that was. That's all that was. I had to download this. So Nordon will purchase these, well, not purchase, but they will store these items in their warehouse. Then they will ship them out to their clients, their customers. ProCut is also part of the Embera family. And guys that might want that's in the business that might want to argue with me, look it up. ProCut, the parent for ProCut, actually bought Embera right before the virus hit. All right. So Dido, Samara, I don't do any of that. I do the Fagor. I do a little bit of LTI. Accurex, which is Green Heck. So this is all VinHood stuff. So I had somebody ask me a question about VinHoods, about for the military and that. Please stay away from that because you'll lose your shirt. But Mars, they do air curtains. That's going to be in the front and the back in restaurants to keep insects out of the restaurant. That's when you like go in there, you get blasted with that air. That air curtain is to prevent flies, gnats, mosquitoes, and things like that from coming in. All right, there's your Everpure. There's Everpure. That's what the video that you guys might have seen just a little while ago, where I was walking into URI, which URI is also a distributor, but I'll touch on that later. All right, so they have all kind of stuff. Windholt, which is, they actually have some heat holding equipment. American Range is now owned by Hatco. There are some chains that use American Range. There's Asper again. Here is Asper. I gave you the information for Julio. So I can go on and on and on. Here's my dishwashing. Moyer Deal, that's Champion. Wietzen, you're talking to the guy for Wietzen. I'm handling Wietzen. in Houston. Walk-ins, Imperial Brown, which is not too common in my area. High speed, which is going to be sharp slash Amana, the Amana speed oven, which is the sharp. And then you got your the beverage stuff, which is Cornelius, which Cornelius buys from Isomatic. They buy from Manitowoc, that kind of thing. All right, so I'm coming back to y'all. All right, yeah, just watch it again. I appreciate that. I really do. Um, yeah, sure. I'll give you an email on Julio, or you can watch the video again. That would really help me out. That would really help me out, brother. Now, these are distributors. So Nordon is a distributor. They're carrying all these different brands. They actually could sell more. They actually sell more. All right. Yeah, I know about the situation in South Florida. South Florida, Scotsman is playing ball. There are some classes for Scotsman. I think you missed some of the stuff, but I think Scotsman is coming around later on in the year. Manitowoc had some stuff, but South Florida is kind of last on the list, sort of like Houston is. But we'll touch on that because I have quite a few viewers that are or subscribers that are in South Florida. So you guys can't see me. Hold on one second. So these distributors are responsible for hosting the training. They're responsible for hosting the training. They're responsible for providing you all with books, with USBs, that type of thing. They will provide that for you as well. Some of them provide a little bit of tech support because they do hire the people from the factories. But the factory's job is to provide a trainer to the distributor when they do host a class. The factory's job is to provide tech support. So you can call up the factory and get tech support. Now, do you need to have a little training before you call them? Most will say no, but 99% of those guys are going to hang up the phone on you if you don't, if you're not well versed with it, if you're not able to answer their questions within a few seconds. Searching around is not something that they're willing to do, because I'm going to tell you guys this information, and they're not going to want me to say this to you, but the tech support department that you're only calling to talk to sometimes 2 people. Other times there's a tech support department, maybe as many as 4 or 5. For these companies that are doing $1 billion in sales, $1 billion, and their training department, not training department, but their tech support department consists of like 2 or 3 people on the phone. And when you bring this up to them, the answer I have received for 7 years has been, we got like 5 guys in training right now. We just hired some more people. That is the company line. So when you call up, they're just going to give you the same thing. Yes, you give a call and ask about the classes. You can call the distributor because they're the ones that are responsible for hosting the classes regionally. You can give the factory a call. They host the classes at their facility, at their factory. The facility classes, the factory class is the best class. With that being said, companies like Manitowoc used to have a entry level and a experience level class. Now they just merged it into one. But when it comes to people like Frymaster, when it comes to people like Champion Industries with their dishwashers, when it comes to Jackson, they are not interested in giving entry-level people information. You're only going to get in there if you have a client. You're only going to get in there if you have already had experience with the product, and they are going to make you better with the product, right? Excuse me. So, which is why I say ICE is always your way in. there can never be enough technicians to work on ice. You can be stuck on an ice machine for 4 or 5 hours. I don't want to scare you all, but you can be stuck on an ice machine for 2 days, right? You say, Mike, how the hell 2 days, man? What the hell is that all about? 2 days. And it's funny because this came up with my Stolting class, right? Because Stolting machines, when they're in Dairy Queen, they also have remotes. And funny enough, the Stolting machines can also encounter a similar installer error like ice machines. And I don't know why I always encountered this in movie theaters, but I'll go out and it'd be a brand new movie theater, and you'll have these 2,000-pound ice machines that are like about 6 feet wide, and they'll at least be about 3 or 4 feet tall, and they produce over 2,000 pounds. And they will have not one of those machines, but they will have two of those machines. Pretty similar, just like Olive Garden and Red Lobster. And speaking of that, I have to give an estimate on one that was damaged in shipping. So now when they install these require quite a bit of refrigerant, and so they will have the remote condenser, which is where the refrigerant goes outside of the building to go through a heat dissipation process, where they'll try to cool down the refrigerant and then bring it back into the unit. And so oftentimes they will crisscross the unit. So we'll call the one on the left Unit A, and we'll call the one on the right Unit B. And so Unit B is tied to the outside unit of Unit A, and Unit A is tied to the outside unit of Unit B. And so while they're both running and the facility is empty, there's no movies going on, they're not cooking any food because they're doing construction, right? Both are working. Both units are working. So as long as both units are working and they're producing ice and no one's using ice, they work just fine. No one's using ice. They're the same machine. They stop at the same time. You only notice that they're crisscrossed when you're in the facility, when it's movie time and they're working. And so now Unit B is full. The employees aren't using Unit B. Unit A is empty. They're using Unit A. So Unit A is over there trying to work. And it's not working because it's crisscrossed. And so now you got to reclaim all of that refrigerant. And I did a terrible job showing y'all that. But you got to reclaim all that refrigerant, not from one unit, but from two, which will often require you going up 3 stories. And then you got to reclaim it, and it's a process. And then you have to disconnect the units and then connect them properly. And then the electrical wiring needs to be connected properly. So all in all, fun time. So you could be stuck on some of these large units and some of these job sites for 2 days. Now, do not be alarmed. Do not be afraid. Do not think that that's something that's going to happen to you. All right. When the units are in use for quite a while, that is discovered. That is discovered usually within the first 2 days of opening. Within the first 2 days, and they usually do soft openings, that is discovered. That kind of thing is discovered. But ice machines can take anywhere from a few minutes to clean to, or to work on to like 2 days. 2 days. And yes, it is a job. It is a job, and the factory will try to pay to make everything okay. But that's another situation where you got the dealer involved, which is usually going to be the movie theater chain, because they're supplying to 700 movie theaters across the country. So they're acting as the dealer. Then you got the distributor involved, because now their money is on the line. because they're not getting paid till everything is right. And then you got the factory involved. The factory's like, well, there's nothing wrong with our machine, and you gotta, you guys done something wrong. So that the technician comes out and has to prove what the problem actually is, and then get down to the bottom of whose fault it is. And the contractor that put it in usually denies everything. So that was a long story short. Anyway, man, I didn't lost my track. So anyway, let me bring it back. So you got the factory, you got the distributor, you got the dealer, and you got the customer, which is the end user. So you're gonna deal with all four of those people, and you need to get the training. The training is the most important thing. YouTube. I want to say about 75% of the people that are currently in the industry right now, even if they've been working their whole career, they are unaware that training is a relatively new thing. It's kind of like an experiment that these factories did. This whole system, you would go out, this whole system used to work like this. You would go out, and then you would learn on the job. You would do an apprenticeship with a technician. You would do ride-alongs. You would do OJT. And that is how you learned. You did OJT. There was no factory training. When there was something like really wrong and no one locally could figure it out, they would send someone down from the factory. And that person would drive or fly, take the train, whatever the case is, to your location. And then they would then do a hands-on training based on this problem. And they're currently still doing this type of thing. Every trainer will have this story about how they've like recently done that. I had a story at Jackson, I had a story at Stolting, and I had a story at Frymaster. So I do not want you all to go and jump into a lake of fire. It doesn't have to be that way. I don't want it to be that way for you because it is costly to do that way for you. You're going to lose clients in the process. You're not going to make that much money in the process. You're going to lose money. You are going to lose money if you go ahead and just want to go ahead and jump into it. Get the training, watch the YouTube videos that are from the factory. NorCal Dave does really good videos. HVACR videos from Chris. He does really good videos. There's tons of videos. HVAR survivalists. Look the stuff up. There's tons of guys out there. Matter of fact, now there's 2 tons of guys out there. There's 3 tons of guys out there doing videos. By the time I'm doing this, it's probably going to be like 4,000 people doing videos. All right. So there's no end of the videos. There's no end of guys showing you the correct way to go out there and fix this stuff. But what they're not showing you, and it's really hard to convey, is what caused them to come out for that problem. Right? Diagnosing that problem doesn't come across on camera. They tell you what they found when they came out, but the sounds, the smells, the vibrations of these items are not able to come across on the internet yet. They're just not able to come across. So you need to go to these classes. You need to go to the class. I don't care if it's for laundry. I don't care if it's for hot side. And hot side is fryers and ovens and that type of thing. You got to go to the classes. You got to go and attend the online stuff. So let me go back in there. Right. So you guys looked at the Frymaster stuff. Right. So to get into the Frymaster class, the in-person class, it's an advanced class. They're not telling you how to fix them. They're telling you what the issues are, right? And then how to take care of those issues, how to prevent the issues. They're actually telling you actually which supplemental parts you can use, right? So there's no way in hell I'm going to tell you what they told me. There's no way, because you're going to get yourself into a world of hurt. Yeah, what the hell? We'll go to the video. So there's the YouTube. Here's the McDonald's videos, fair use.
The controller, when in operation, has a row of icons across the bottom.
All right, so they're giving you everything you need to know. Everything. It's right there. It's not locked up. They used to lock this stuff up. They used to lock this stuff up. All right, now. Well, yeah, you can catch it. I'll go over what you missed earlier anyway. This stuff used to be on lock and key. And what they found was nobody was watching them. Nobody was watching them. And then they thought that, ooh, the employees are going to watch it. Turned out the employees weren't watching them either. Let me see who. They're at the point now where they're begging people to watch the damn videos. This video is 4 years old. 728 views. 728 views. And it's 4 years old. I've only been doing this for a month and like a week. And I'm probably going to end up with 700 views on some of my videos in like 6 months. They're a freaking Fry Master. Nobody's watching these videos. You need to watch these videos if you're going to get out there and try to make some money. You want to legitimately get out there and be proficient. If you want to get out there and actually not make yourself look like a fool, right? You don't want to lose money. They're just going to run you right out of the building. The customer is going to run you right out of there. They're going to ask you questions within the first like 2 minutes of you being on site. Look at this. Look at this.
今すぐろ過するの操作。
Oh, this is
プログラムされた時間。
Anyway, hold on, let me go back. The customer is going to ask you questions within the first 2 minutes of you being on site. They're going to ask you questions about fair use. Fair use. This video is for educational purposes. They're going to ask you questions within the first 2 minutes of you being there. They're going to be over your shoulder. You are not going to have any answers for them. You need to go and take these classes. You need to go and immerse yourself in as much education as possible. I understand you can try and watch videos. This is not residential. You can go ahead and try to watch a YouTube video, but you need somewhere to start, right? And if you go out there and you're trying to watch a YouTube video on site, it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. It's too involved. You need to, even if you wanted to, you could. It's not recommended, but you could. You can ask them location questions before you get there and watch a number of videos. Then get out there and try to catch up with the videos. But nothing is going to compare you to what's really out there in real life, right? It's a lot more to it than I'm telling you, a lot more to it than you're hearing from anywhere else. And these online videos are going to help you. They're going to help you to get a clue. They're going to help you out with this video. Look at a Fry Master for McDonald's has 72 subscribers.
Displays the oil's rising temperature. Oil rises in the fry pot, expanding as it heats. When the oil is within
72 subscribers.
the circular display becomes start.
No one is watching these videos.
A cook cycle can be started.
This is the same thing, right? This is the same thing that's in the training.
When the fry pot reaches
All right, we go to
cycles, it will call
you're going to download
a hands-off process.
I should go to training. You're gonna download the or go to Google, go to the Google training site. And this is just one example. Most fryer, you know what? Hell with this. Let me show you Pitco. Let me show you. Pitco is very challenging to deal with. Pitco is very challenging to deal with. All right, they've actually let go of Mark. All right, so things are a little better now. Now that Mark is gone. So now, now that Mark is gone, you can get to learning. You can get down to doing what you need to do and making money. Some of these people, they just don't get it. They want to put this, they want to keep you out. And all that's been doing is that's been hurting the factory. That's been hurting. Let me see if I'm in here. Yeah, I'm down there. That's been hurting the factory. That's been hurting the customer. All right. So those two people, the distributor and the dealer, they've been okay. They do their own thing. But that's been hurting the end user and it's been hurting the factory. So you want your books? Here's your books. Here's your books. Here's your books right here. Here is your book. All right, hold on 1 second. I have to, it opened up in another window. So I am going to give you what I'm seeing. All right, so you can download right there. It'll be commercial. This is no secret information. All you have to do is go to their website. The brands are not secret. It's just what you're going to do. Learn 3,000 brands. You can be familiar with some of the top ones. This is Pitco. This is in your Wingstop. This is in your Five Guys, right? It's in a number of other chains. Pitco. So these restaurants, these locations, their food is only made using these appliances. They've tested every single brand on the market. And what gives them the desired results is what you see, which is why I tell you time and time again, which is why I'm failing you, because you're not getting it, which is my fault. These people only use a certain product, whether it's Pitco or Frymaster or Henny Penny or Ultra Fryer, Imperial. They're only using a certain manufacturer because their style of appliance is delivering desired results. And even when all of the brands can give them the desired results, then it ends up who gives us better return on our oil usage. Which brand is gonna cook our food and we're still gonna end up with using fewer jugs of oil? Which brand is gonna end up with fewer crumbs in it? Which brand do we need to use that is going to allow us to continuously cook without having to stop and filter, right? So it's a lot that comes into play. And there is also a war when it comes to fryers. Fryers is serious business, right? So KFC and Popeyes and all that, they're going to use certain ones. The history of Ultra Fryer is that Ultra Fryer was created by the owner of Popeyes, I believe. I'm open to correction. I believe it was Popeyes. So that's how serious it is. And that's how soft serve was made. Carvel, the owner of Carvel's, made his own machine. He kind of like started the industry. right? History of ultra fryer. All right, I'm gonna go through this while we're going through this. All right, I am just about done because, like I said, I got a lot of work to do. I want to give you guys some more information, and I want to continue to give you guys the training, these training dates. I'll give you guys the training dates. I'm going to give you guys more on the news in the industry, because the news is very important to your bottom line, and you need to learn that now. Man, I am trying to find. They're actually here we go. So, right, the leading food concepts that use ultra fryer is Popeyes, Dairy Queen, Papa Do's, which is headquartered here in Houston, where I am. So, fun fact, I learned that there are 700 Dairy Queens in Texas. Did not know that. All right, so Popeyes, I don't know why they don't have KFC on here. Right. They say Alamo City. I thought it was Alamo Draft House, which is a movie theater chain. So, yeah, this is old information because San Antonio is no longer. It is in New Hampshire. So, learning about the industry, learning about what is going on is going to save you from going broke. I'm going to give you guys the industry news because you need to learn, like, there's a chain, not a chain, but a franchisee for Popeyes that currently went, not Popeyes, but for Burger King that went into financial difficulty. And so when that happens, guess who they don't pay? All right, that's going to be you. So there's an upside to doing like large chains, and there's a downside. And the downside is sometimes these guys run into money troubles. So Burger King had one that ran into money troubles. I keep wanting to say Popeyes. Churches, they closed all the churches here in Houston. Churches ran into a money problem. The franchisee, he didn't pay his franchise fees. He didn't pay his resale tax on that. It was a mess. And so if you were doing business with them, now they owe you money. And good luck on that. You might not see your money for a couple of years. All right. So now there's one called, not Country Kitchen, but I was gonna say Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut. Here we go. Pizza Hut bankruptcies. Ooh, what am I on? I don't want to. Sorry, you guys can't see this, but I'm typing into the wrong thing. All right. I was almost going to end the stream. All right. So Pizza Hut. All right. So here we go. Because I try to give you guys a little information. All right. I'm trying to give you more of a well-rounded picture. I'm not going to say that the commercial side is all roses, because it's not. You can't just go out here with a wrench, can't just go out here with a screwdriver and think that everything is going to be okay and you're going to ride off in the sunset in your damn service truck. That is not the case. You need to be well informed. And check in the chat, please. Please let me know that y'all are still there and that you're able to see everything that I'm showing you. So right here, this was 2020. Pizza Hut's largest franchisee filed for Chapter 11, which means that you're not going to get your money for quite a while. And I believe some of those, I think Houston might have been included in some of that. So once again, that's Yum Brands. That's me. I'm a servicer for Yum Brands. They filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Not Yum Brands, but some of the people who are franchisees, which for you would be the end user. They're not the distributor, they're not the manufacturer, they're not the dealer. They're the end user, they're the customer, they're who you're going out to work on those Lincoln ovens and other things, right? So they filed for bankruptcy. They had some problems. So right here, so that included 1,200 Pizza Hut locations and like 400 Wendy's. Now, I don't want to get sued. How do you know what franchise? Well, that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. I'm failing you right now. I am failing you. This is what I am telling you. This is what you have to do. Because yes, it's going to be nice amount of money. I'm just going to throw something out there. Let's just say you're making, no, I'm going to do this. Allegedly, there was a service provider that was owed $3 million. Allegedly, in this situation, right? Allegedly. So, well, we all know somebody was owed some money, right? So allegedly, there was a service provider that was owed $3 million through this. So what you want to do is you gotta watch what's going on. You gotta watch the stock market. You gotta. That's why I'm doing industry news. You gotta open up your eyes. I mean, if you're going through and you're having payment problems or they're stretching it out, you're gonna want to dial back, and they're gonna try every trick in the book to get you to keep offering up your service. But you got to be strong. You got to hold back. So this franchisee had 1,200 Pizza Huts and 400 Wendy's. So it's not like it's just these people do that. They will invest in a suite of restaurants. So there's one guy here. He's got, well, it's not just one guy, but this one guy here, he's got Arby's and Burger King and all this other kind of stuff. And there's another guy. He's got it's a French country kitchen concept. He's got that, and he's got like 10 other different lines, 10 other brands. How many of you guys know who Fatita is? How many people have you ever heard of Fatita? Anybody here watch that show where the people Shark Tank? Anybody watch Shark Tank? Anybody ever seen Fatita on there? Anybody ever seen Fatita's show where he'll go ahead and invest in people that like make a salt shaker, and he'll buy enough orders for salt shakers from that one couple that it would end up being a $2 million order? Anybody who know who Fatita is? The guy who went to Trump and asked Trump for money to help make payroll. Good. So yeah, Fatita got into trouble. Fatita owns Papados. Fatita owns Landry's, right? And Landry's hospitality company. Fatita owns. My daughter used to be a big fan of the Rainforest Cafe, right? So Fatita is doing fine now, but Fatita said he goes through like $2 billion a year. $2 billion a year is his revenue. But when the virus hit, he needed money from the government, right? He just wanted a loan. He didn't need, he just wanted to float some money, right? Which I completely understand. Right, revenue 3. Let me go back. So I have to do a retraction of my statement. All right, focus on the screen. Look at the lower right-hand side. Fatita's restaurants, Tillman Fatita, all right, and I passed by. And that's 2021. He did his revenue was $3 billion. Let me show you what he got. Let me show you what he's got. All right. For some of you who might not be familiar, right? Morton's. He owns Morton's, the steakhouse. He owns. Let me just go here. We're gonna do his listing page. He owns casinos. So here in Houston, we got a number of these aquariums that he has. He owns these they're very nice aquariums. My daughter loves it. I don't even know some of these other ones. Babin's Seafood, Bill's Bar, Bloom and Bee. I don't even know some of these concepts. So the boathouse, I've seen that. Bougie. Brenner's. I've done work for Brenner's. I didn't even know that was one of his. Bluefin. Never did that. But yeah, I've done. Wow. All right. So Brenner's, they try to have Perlick at their bar. They have True. I didn't know. All right. See, I work for these people. I have no idea. I have no idea. There's another Brenner's Steakhouse, Brick. Oh, wow. Okay, I've seen that. I am learning something new with you guys today. Bubba Gump's, right? Bubba Gump's Shrimp, Cadillac Bar, Chart House, Claim Jumper. Claim Jumper. Women love Claim Jumper. Claim Jumper, Claim Jumper, Claim Jumper. Yeah, he owns it. I've done work there. You guys never seen those videos? Oh, he's still asking about the loans? Oh, wow. I've done work over there at his stadium. It wasn't for him, it was for his tenants in there. That's the one where I did the 10 griddles, and then when I did the install the dishwasher. He owns Claim Jumper. He owns, of course, he owns Landry's. He owns casinos, right? So you can work for this man, and everything will be fine. And then something like the virus comes around, and now you don't get paid, right? So there it is, the golden nugget. And it's not because he doesn't want to pay you, it's because he's going to pay his employees first, which is understandable. He's going to pay his people. He's got, I mean, I forgot what he said when he went before Trump. He said what his weekly payroll was. It was something ungodly, which good for him. He's paying his people, you know? I've never heard anybody complain. What the hell? What? Horatios. I know he owns hotels. I did not know he had invested in Hiltons and Holiday Inns. There's Houlihan's. What the hell? I did not know that. So, yeah, he had a reality show. Like he would buy stuff from regular mom and pop. Fertitta would buy from regular and a lot of times struggling people, and he would change their lives. I remember he bought chairs for the pool side, and I actually saw those chairs. He bought chairs for the pool side for all his resorts and locations, stuff like that. He bought salt and pepper shakers, and really just changed people's lives. He's done really good things. I have nothing negative to say about the man. Like I said, if it's him or you, he's gonna pick himself. He's gonna pick himself. That's completely understandable. But you gotta know which way the wind is blowing. Joe's Crab Shack. So see, if you were doing work for Joe's Crab Shack, I don't think there are any Joe's Crab. Wait, I take that back. All the Joe's Crab Shacks that are left in Houston are part of his boardwalk situation. Like I knew he owned Boardwalk Inns because they're on the boardwalk. So for you guys that don't know, Fertitta owns his own amusement parks. All right, Melisandre. He owns his own amusement parks. Oh, because I've been on for an hour. And he owns everything on them. He owns the hotels, he owns the rides, he owns all the restaurants. So there are many people like him out there, and they own hotels, they own restaurants, and everything in between. And you got to open your eyes. You can't go chasing that money, because before you know it, you're going to end up bankrupt. You're going to end up ruined not paying attention to what's going on around you. If you notice the ceiling tiles are falling down, employees are telling you they're not getting paid. Yes, monopoly money to these people. If you notice the employee turnover is heavy, everybody's unhappy, do not extend yourself to those people. Change your style of pay. You say, hey, I'm not doing 30-day with y'all no more. I'm not doing 45-day net. I am doing check. Yep. I'm not doing check with y'all no more. I am doing credit card. And you're going to notice that they're going to give you a little pushback. Oh, we're going to go with somebody else. And then you say, all right, fine. You call their bluff. Then they call you. Oh, yeah, we've I got a credit card for you. When can you come on and fix that? Now you know. But as long as you get a credit card, you'll be fine. All right. So I'm going to try to do a better job of explaining the industry to you all because you all are new. I do have veterans on here that follow me. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate you guys watching. But in the future, I'm going to try to add more. I've just been so swamped. I've been extremely busy. So I know it's on the residential side, it's a slow time, and even like my restaurants are still slow because we have rodeo going on, but machines are still down. Orders are coming in. Equipment is coming in that they ordered a year ago. They're just now finally getting delivered. So I'm still swamped. I'm swamped. Yeah, I try to give you all lessons, and the feedback you're giving me is really appreciated. I really do need to know it because you guys aren't really telling me what you're experiencing. I still am not getting feedback from your experiences in classes. Something is telling me that you guys are not going. Well, thank you. Something is telling me that you guys are not going because I'm not getting questions. Something is telling me that you guys are not approaching these locations. You guys aren't approaching hotels. You guys aren't approaching restaurants. You guys aren't approaching small grocery stores. In your cases, bodegas and things like that. Because I'm not getting, how should I handle this, Mike? They said this. What should I do? I've never heard of this brand. What's this? They're asking me, am I going to do this? They say I need this kind of insurance. I'm not getting those questions from y'all. I'm not getting questions like, hey, we went over this in class, and what does that mean? Well, we went over class, and I didn't quite understand this or that. So I need to know more from you guys, right? Yeah, that's fine, Mr. Amanda Talk. It comes around every year. Sometimes they come around twice a year. This is stuff that you have to do annually. I have this book. This book is not just, I only have a few certificates in there, but this book is not just for 1 year. This is constant. It is constant learning. It never, ever ends. It never ends. Never end. Laundry. And that's just because I do everything. I don't do air conditioning. I do not do air conditioning. But, I do all the other stuff. So I'm gonna get off of here because I've been up since like 3 this morning. I took my wife to the airport this morning. I've been running ever since. And now it's Central Standard Time. It is late. It's 11:30 my time. And I know you guys on the East Coast, especially you Miami people, it's midnight 30. But I want to thank you all for the support. And I do recognize that I am not giving you guys the full picture of this business. So I'm going to try to do a little better with that because this is not a tech channel. This is not I'm telling you how to work on equipment channel. This is what I find out in the field. So this is how you do it. No, I'm just letting you know, hey, yeah, I do this. This is what I do for a living. Being slow is the perfect time. Because when you're busy, when you're swamped, you don't have time to stop at these locations. So when you go to these locations, when you go to these places, strike up a conversation. Talk to these people. Hit up all the places that are closest to you. Hit up the small independent grocery stores. All right. I see Melisande. That sounds like an African name to me. You might want to hit up some of those African grocery stores. To the rest of y'all, I would say no, don't do that. But you can hit up plenty of these places. So yeah, you need to hit up some of these places for ice machine cleaning because you got to, because that's what this was today. That's what this puppy was today. The machine was completely down. The filter was blocked. The backup spare filter I gave them, they ended up running that till it was blocked, and I had to clean it. I had to do what I had to do. Bills are due, and I just made an impulse purchase. I'll have to show y'all that I made an impulse purchase. But yeah, I had to do that today. I finished that off. I ended up, when I went to URI, I went and bought some cleaner, some nickel safe cleaner. I went and changed that. I got to change that filter next. I forgot to buy that. That's what it looked like before. And then I end up cleaning it. So I am going to get off of this freaking stream because I will be on here till 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Because it's just like that. That's Vito. All right. So yes, about the food court. I'm glad you brought that up, Thompson Appliance. It is extremely difficult to work in the food court because the restaurants in the food court do not have ownership of their location. They are renting from the mall. So now you can get in there. You can sneak in the mall. I've done it. You can get in there. You can sneak in there. But most times, 99.9999999% of the time, you have to present that landlord with your insurance. You have to present them with your certificate of insurance. I have what I've come to find out from other people is an ungodly number of amount of insurance, but I have it. When you go in the food court, you hit them up. You're gonna get contacted by the landlord, and they're gonna tell you, hey, this is our requirements. Give this to your insurance company and have them send your COI to us. So that goes for Taco Bell because I've gone in there, done Taco Bell. I've done Chick-fil-A and all that other stuff in the mall. It is a pain. So you're parking in the parking lot and you got to wheel all your stuff in through the side gates, the side door to get in there. There's no room for you to work. There's no room. If you've ever noticed, the ice machines in the mall are always in the front by the register. Always in the front by the register. It is pain. It is very pain to get into that damn mall. Strip mall, sure. The mall, I would say no. I would say no. You can sure give them your information or get contact information. Find out what the insurance requirements are for the mall. If you're with the Hartford like I am, the Hartford will have no problem getting you all set up with that. But please keep those kind of questions coming. But that's the problem with the mall. Problem with the mall is the insurance, and then sometimes they got to have security escort you throughout the mall. Is a pain. Then with the mall, sometimes those ice machines aren't self-contained. They aren't air-cooled. Sometimes they're remotes, and a lot of times because they don't get access to regular service companies, those machines are really in bad shape at the mall. They're gonna jump at you and want you to service it, but you might be biting off a little more than you. If you do go to the mall, cleaning only. You're only doing cleaning. You do not do any repair whatsoever. They're going to be familiar with that because there are companies out there that all they do is clean. Now, My viewership is dropping off, and I appreciate you all for coming up here, but please hit me on the videos in the comment sections with your questions. Everybody else is going to learn from your questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to do a whole live about whatever questions y'all ask. All right. So thank you all for coming. I appreciate you being on the live. You guys never cease to amaze me. You guys always show up. It is very humbling. And thank you. And I'm going to try to do better. I'm going to try to do better with giving you guys more information. The videos I'm not too concerned with because this is not a how-to channel on how to repair. This is a how-to channel on how to get your business going in the commercial appliance industry. So with that, I'm going to say good night, and maybe I'll see you tomorrow. All right. But once again, thank you all for coming.